Extra, extra. Read all about it. Unbound 2025. Too fast, too dangerous.
This was an unbound weekend for me. This will forever be known as the weekend I was invited to the Paz Normal house.
Yeah, you crossed over from the internet to real life to, you know, it makes sense that the Euros invited you to a house, because your account has become so Euro coded.
Yeah, I was in the house and then one of the writers said, "Oh, you're the meme account. I recognize your voice." And so it's like, "Oh, so you
Yeah.
do know this is a voice of a grown woman and not like an 11-year-old boy." Okay. There might have been some confusion in the past, but now that we have that all sorted out.
Yeah, they're all stuck on the trainer, so they have to listen to like tons of bad cycling and gravel podcasts. So it's
Yeah,
just it's
there's
just good to be acknowledged. It's good to be in the conversation.
yeah, yeah. Man, Unbound weekend. Long weekend? What do we want to dig into first here? They did say you're not the same person after you come. That's always the line that they always throw out. I don't know if that just applies to the 200 us 100 riders over here. I don't know if we if that counts for us, but am I
Dude, you're
transformed?
you're not the same person because you keep going to like local businesses now that you're home where your friends work, and you're just like, I might be in the Stable Cyclist Chase Work documentary, and they just look at you like they have no clue what you're talking about.
Dude, when I was out last night with my friends wearing my paw racing shirt, no one knows what it is because on any of the people that would know what it was were at the one of the local hitter coded group rides. They weren't out at the bar where I was. But I'm wearing my paw racing shirt. I get a text from Stable Cyclist saying if I want to be referred to as my name or Holy Spirit of Gravel. And I was like, I mean, do you even have to ask? I mean, really? Queen of the Normies, Holy Spirit of Gravel. That's what my mom called me. So shout out
Yeah, I
aid
think
station crew, mom and dad.
I think speaking of aid station, I feel like I was just fed algorithmically Lauren DiCrescenzo's
LDC,
her
we call her
article.
LDC.
LDC. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, insiders like you call her LDC, or like
Mm-hmm.
one of my best friends LDC.
Yep, we are
Uh,
now very close. Yeah.
anyways, I was fed an article that she wrote about, basically it's like Unbound was dangerous, and the feed stations are insane because it's like quote unquote self-supported, but it's sort of a joke to believe the pros are self-supported. Like the hitters clearly have teams, and is it an interesting take on the like the state of quote unquote pro gravel. Like, and I think the other interesting thing is she said that the elite field wasn't really elite enough. Like
Yeah,
it
that
seemed
was the
like a
big
huge
narrative.
shit show. Like, yeah, yeah. Why don't you dive into some of those hot topics?
Yeah, yeah, that was the big narrative afterwards. It's like I'm glad we waited a few days to do the pod because things were trickling out. And it takes a few days because everyone's like a little brain fried. I know I was, and I didn't even have any long captions to write. Insert caption joke here from 2022 about privateer captions. No, but like the narrative was that in the women's field there were not only were there like a lot of crashes, it's like yes, there are always crashes, but the vibe I'm getting from them is that there were more crashes than usual, and there were like very avoidable crashes. And it comes down to there was basically like in an effort to increase the number of women, which is like a valiant effort, but in doing so, you just have like I guess like apparently maybe some like nepo baby watt pushers that don't have the handling or loose gravel experience that some of the others have, and definitely ruffled feather. I mean, not only just ruffled feathers, just like needlessly ended people's races. But then you have, the other side saying, well, it's a gatekeeping to keep them out and crashes always happen. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like the way I see it is like the women need, it's got to get sorted out amongst like if we want to take it seriously, obviously it's like less rule. It's not so much more rules, but maybe more like actions and more, I don't know. Rules and regulations is like the bad word in gravel, but maybe more clear definitions. Maybe that's just splitting hairs. Also, what does this even mean for me? Is the other thing. Like, as far as the pros go, they're either riding past me or I'm consuming their media at home. So if it's something that helps make it more consumable for us while still keeping the quote unquote spirit, which I think I'll always say this, like the spirit still exists. It's like a poor joke to say it's dead. Like the one of the stories was that of the top two and the women were both the paw riders, so Karo Mignon and Cecily Decker, and like Cecily Decker ran out of water and like Karo Mignon was giving her water. And then Cecily Decker said if it went to the line, she wouldn't fight her for it because Karo deserved it for helping her out. And it's like, yeah, that feels pretty like Spirit of Gravelly to me. I mean, I don't know. But um and the guys too were helping each other out. Simon Pellaud was like waxing Cam Jones's chain like mid ride. Um, yeah. I think
Yeah, I think it's yeah, it's just telling that I think back to all the crashes, I think in reading some of the captions of people who didn't do as well as they wanted to, it does seem like they painted the narrative that the huge gaps, like didn't the women's winner, is it Mignon? Didn't she win by like 9 minutes to Cecily Decker? Or was it 5 minutes or something? But
I don't
this
think it was 9 minutes, but it was a few
okay,
minutes. I was out there. Yeah, I was out there like
maybe
at the
maybe it was nine
barriers. Like
minutes to the third place pack or
so
something. But
like
it
the
was just
yeah, yeah.
it just I mean seemingly huge time gaps, for somebody being out alone. But it does seem like the past 2 years, last year it was, I know Lachlan and Chad Haga on the men's side, went sort of similarly, but they just kind of went out ahead and stayed out ahead. But so much stuff happens behind that it's like either you're in front or something bad might happen. Just seems to be the Unbound vibe.
Yeah, it's like you want to be out in front. Otherwise some Nepo baby's gonna take you out or something. You didn't hear it from me. I don't know. May or may not be true. Um, I'm just a meme account, you know.
And
I'm just
on
a
top of
normie.
that, the just to like, for all the gravel normies who don't ride gravel in prestige American mass start races, there are normal people on the course while these people are going
Yeah.
21 to 26 miles an hour
I,
in very limited like real estate when it rained a few days and just I don't know, can you explain riding it out there, what
so
it was like?
yeah, so of course the 200, like we share the first 20 miles, but they all go off ahead, so we don't see them until it meets back up after what is my first aid station and their second aid station. So it's around for the 100. For me, it was the men's leaders came up to me around mile late 60s, low 70s, somewhere around there. And it was just the two guys, Cam Jones and Simon Pellaud, and one of the cool you were texting me also was a thing that like I've mentioned several times on Instagram, but yeah, you were texting me the results. Like you were ignoring your family to text me, so I do appreciate that. It is something to just like take the mind off whatever. But like a moto came by and was like, leaders coming through. And then everyone kind of instinctively moved to the right. And it was like a slow section. It was like uphill and going into headwind. So no one was like really pushing or anything. And then the two guys come by and there's like the camera, like the ATV camera buggy. And then there's some motos behind them. And then after that, kind of bit by bit, there was like the Keegan group and then the Finchy group. And then like the random like Euro whatever straggler group. And then, some hitter who conned his way onto a team, whatever, local hitter who's just been riding wheels, like, from Minnesota group or something like that. Um, I don't know. So they were going by. So there was no point where I felt unsafe or like I felt stressed out about it. I wasn't riding slow or like super slow, so it was obviously not as fast as they were, but you just stuck to the right, and I only moved out of the right onto the left when their ruts weren't huge, obviously. And at some point, you're looking behind. I did have a bit of a mishap with like um John Borstelmann. Either did I almost ruin his race or did he almost ruin mine? He was way off the back. This was quite late, but like I sort of this dude just like magically appeared. I looked left, looked right, didn't see anyone. And of course, when you these roads like at certain angles, seemingly like you can see down them for miles, and like I didn't see anyone. And all of a sudden, this huge dude in purple was just like on top of me, and I was just like, ah. And he was like, ah. But I mean, it was fine. Um, there's no gravel beef there, you know. We'll have words after, but once we've both cooled down, maybe in like a couple months or something. But no, I mean that wasn't even anything really. It's just I don't know. In my experience, it went fine. Like I guess it clearly wasn't for every single person and for every single pro. Like at some you did see them a couple times weaving because there were people on both sides. But it never felt like it was from what I saw, again, from what I saw, it that was already happening like so far back in the men's field that like it didn't feel like it necessarily like affected the true outcome of the race. Like I didn't see it cause any crashes or anything, um but yeah, I mean, and it was kind of cool, like especially in the beginning when they were in groups and going really hard, and like we were all there was motos with them, so we kind of then all the normies knew like to get to the right. That was like the kind of unspoken thing going on, and I didn't see any like I don't know animosity going on. I didn't feel that vibe where I was. That's all I can say.
Yeah, all I can say is it sucks to be a woman, like they started, was it 15 minutes after the men or a little bit longer?
They started 15
Um,
minutes after the men, and I heard
so they're passing all the dudes who just blew up, and then they're passing all the normies, and it's like
yeah,
they had the most traffic to get through. Like
yeah, 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 for
it
sure.
does sound pretty terrible,
Does
honestly.
the Yeah, 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 it was where so I had finished before any of the women had finished, so I never like was out there that long to where I ran into them. I mean, I would have been kind of cool to see like one of their groups, I guess. I'd like to see that. Seeing like the men's was pretty powerful and cool, but yeah, is the answer two separate days? Like does that ruin the spirit of gravel, or does that, is it just what happens when the race gets so big? It's like you still want the normies to come and you still want to give them their race. Maybe it's the answer. Like I don't I'm not opposed to it. That's what I'll say. I'm not opposed to it. Um
They're calling it the Levi's Grand Fondo format. A full week of fun, and the pros get their own day,
no,
even
that
though it's
was
just like a standard model, right? Like,
well, that was the Levi's Grand Fondo was all on one day. Um I think that was an issue there too. It may be even worse because there was like so many people on so many different courses and you didn't know. I can't remember the narrative of Levi's Grand Final, but they were all on the same day. No, Traka was the one where they were all different days, but it was distances were different days. So it was like all the all the 360 and then all the 200 and then all the 100. It was Traka that did that. And it just seems like because they're not riding on real roads, there's like Euro gravel. They're riding on like dirt footpaths and yeah, vineyard roads, irrigation ditches. So yeah, I guess you have to at an event that big. But of course, we're still like not in the know if like normies go where to Euro gravel races, where I can tell you without a doubt, like thousands of normies descended. They always that's the word they always use, descended upon Emporia, Kansas. Although seemingly most of the real estate within Emporia was taken up by brand houses,
yeah, it's a real
allegedly.
shame you never found the Trek Driftless house.
I know, yeah.
I
I
think
got
all the privateers were just too busy.
way too busy eating rice, way too busy going to activation. See, the pause team has their own operation going on. I don't think at really any point any of the paw riders were had to like sign baseball cards for sweaty normies at any point. So maybe that's why they had the time to just invite me over to Riff, and Trek Driftless House didn't. But
I really hope that you're on one of the baseball cards soon and you have to sit there instead of walking through the line and all the privateers being like, I love your memes. Like, you're my hero. You're
yeah,
so
yeah.
funny.
Thank you for what
Can
you
can
do for the culture.
can I get a picture with you?
Yeah. The best thing is like my mom was like standing behind me when all this was happening, and I think she got it on camera because she
Dude,
was
you're
I had my own media team, my mom filming stuff.
you're just like so demented that you make your own card at
I
like
make my own
Kinko's
team.
and like you just start handing it out to people. Like I'm gravel too. I'm a really important part of this movement and culture.
I mean, I did that with the baseball caps, which uh yeah, worked out. Um yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I kind of did do that with the baseball caps, and those were quite a bit more expensive than making Kinko cards. So, yeah, I'll do that with the car. I'll set up my own. So it's like the expo is in this like sort of parking lot alleyway area that's like pretty well like fenced off, I guess you could say, like guarded. And so it's like I'll just set up my tent just like because it is just like this main street, this one main street in Emporia, and then side streets. It's like everyone goes to the same pub and like the same couple coffee shops, the same Jimmy John's. And so like I'll just set up my tent like on like the alleyway where like the porta potties are, and then I'll have my own signing, my own pictures. Um,
And
yeah,
you'll also be promoting the debut of the Chase Work documentary by the Stable Cyclist at the Granada Theater. Like,
yeah, yeah.
guys, come by tonight, 7 p.m. Get your picture in front of the marquee, guys. Like,
I'll be the one that introduces Chase Work to come out. Like I'll be the one that's like, when like at like film award shows, whenever they give those like lifetime achievement awards, it's always like another movie star that has to introduce them. It'll be like that. Like I'll be the one out there. Or it'll be like Stable Cyclist will like introduce me, and then I'll introduce Chase Work, and then Chase Work will introduce his his film. That's when I met Peyson McElveen, which was fun. And before he introduced his film, but I couldn't stay for the film. I had to go home and
yeah,
eat.
yeah, he just like puts his hand over his heart and it's just like, I gave everything to this and I'm just really satisfied with how it came out. And I'm sure it's good.
I'm
The
sure
funny
it's
thing is
great.
just
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that's the kind of thing I need to watch like alone, like on YouTube on my TV on a Saturday night, not like with a bunch of gravel dads like around me being
Yeah,
like,
no, exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like what I watch like on my tablet in bed, like
dude,
fully
just
awake. Like I
like,
don't fall asleep to that stuff. I watch it, but like, or I watch it in the morning on like while I'm eating breakfast because we're so screen addicted. Like I have to have it on. But
a gravel dad just being like, Payson's so much more handsome in person. He's he's so striking. He's just a good looking guy.
and then it's like, shouldn't we be back at the Airbnb like making pasta and going to sleep since we have to be up at 4 in the morning?
But speaking of Payson, it's interesting that like you were writing and these people were going by you, and I was kind of enjoying the Unbound live stream, like driving around and watching it, and like your family being mad at you for like having it on the car speakers,
Yeah.
and like you're just like not going when it's a green light. Um, but I have to say, Payson did. I think he's the greatest gravel play-by-play guy of all time. Like short history, but he was like doing the thing where he was explaining the like lifetime standing simulated live on the
Dude, he
road,
loves
like
doing that.
just in
He
his head
loves
though. But
explaining.
he was like, I was just like, literally no one except Alexei Vermeulen has ever done this before.
Right,
But
just
like
Payson and Alexei Vermeulen understand
just
how
like
like the math of this
right,
works.
right. But like the live I don't know. It was actually very impressive, and it was a functional format for it. Where the other impressive, like tiny thing he did, I'd say, is that he did like 2.5 minutes explaining the difference between Cecily Decker and Cecile LeJeune. He was just like, okay, guys, this is going to be kind of confusing, but we have two Cecilies in the third place group right now, and it was just like,
Dude, I'm so
it was
glad you
actually
watched
very
it
well
because like
done.
I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
like somewhat like I did like scrub through it a few times and like in the beginning, of course, like I'm in it for like a millisecond when as I'm getting passed by the top hitters, if you will. And yeah, so like I that's hilarious, but that is like I'd expect nothing less from like Gravel's very own, Peyson McElveen, like explain like giving a good 2 minutes to explain that. Dude, did I tell you that a couple of nights ago when we went out for burgers, um, my uncle came with us and he asked me, how was Little Egypt? My uncle who like hasn't ridden a bike in like 45 years asked me how Little Egypt was. And I was like, you
He-
know about that? And it's because my mom spammed the family group text and like her friends and her old coworkers, all the link to the Unbound live stream. Of course, I'm not in it. This live stream is not about me, but yet so many people in my social circle that are not gravel cyclists were watching it to the point that days later they ask me if I rode Little Egypt, and I have to say, no, I did not. I did the 100 miler. Little Egypt is only on the 200-mile course.
I mean, I consider that a huge win for Lifetime. Like, it is interesting to see just the level of engagement on the live stream. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like
I
it was
got the
above.
text from you at some point and you're like 30,000 people are watching this and I'm like out there riding. I'm at like mile 65 or something. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know, just I think it's sort of what we always wanted as like fans, and it's there's really just nothing to complain about. Like they did they did a good job. I don't know what else to say. Like
It's the
they
future.
captured it
Like
all very
once you
well.
do something like that, it can only get better. Like there's no any like going back would just be a failure. Like this is the sport now. Like Traka did it. Levi's Grand Fondo wasn't a gravel race, but it was, it was just a paved gravel race. Um, they did it. It's just like it's only gonna get better and it only should get better. Um, yeah. I mean, I don't know, like if you just have to run a bunch of like Pas Normal ads and Lifetime ads and whatever other ads were going on in there, then I guess that's what you have to do. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's like I made it a point to like once I have like the bandwidth to be able to process it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch it. And I've been like going through it like bit by bit every day as like doing laundry or chores. Like I've had it on in the background and like I can't wait to get to the Cecile bit. That's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to that.
I mean, truly some of the like it's just him being like, and I'm super pumped for Cecile. Like you wouldn't expect to be in this group. This is what gravel cycling's all about. Just somebody's just having an amazing day out there. And it's like, yeah, that's like 100% true. Thank you for explaining that. Like I
Yes,
do
right?
appreciate like like you're look it's all honestly like I don't mean to gas up the guy too much, but like I feel like he might need to not ride the bike and like claim the spot as the gravel play by play guy.
I know
Like he
he
needs to just do the XL, like the the retirement where you just do the like longest distance at every race, but you're quote unquote not racing it or something.
no, he
And
does the
like
Excel and but like he's like clued in enough that they do like we're checking back in with Payson right now on his Excel run. Payson, what do you have to say? How are you doing? And then he's like, I just went through this tiny town and the whole community was out and it was great. And he's like, yeah, I heard that yeah, that Paige Onweller is out there trading pools with Haley Smith. They're teammates, but they're not teammates on Trek Driftless. And it's then he just goes into like the politics of that while he's writing the Excel. Imagine.
you're kind of inventing some sort of like Christian Vandeveld on the motorcycle like vibe is what I'm picking up. Um,
That's what I want to
during
do.
the
That's
Tour
what
de
I want to.
France. Yeah.
I want to be that. I would love to be on the moto, like bothering them while they're trying to ride. They're like, I tried to get some information from him and he just grunted at me, but I think that means he's feeling good. He's feeling good. He's feeling good. And it's like I tried to ask LDC how she was doing and she kind of made a face. So I think some normie, blocked her and some some washed elite men were trying to draft off her or something. But well, I'll get some more information and get back to you.
The Lifetime Grand Prix live stream, the video count is like right now at recording time, like 340,000, which I think is pretty impressive.
Or
I don't
like,
know what that metric means, but like, for example, I'm looking it
yeah.
up. Like a WNBA game on June 3rd, the Sun versus the Fever was like 850,000 viewers. Like, I know I'm very into the like gravel live stream to like, you know, being picked up by a network theory. So I'm just trying to say like
Yeah, yeah,
it's
you're really
closer
into
to
that,
like
yeah.
it's closer to like a D to C tier sport like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
than
I
we
think it is.
real
I think
like
it's
if it's
closer than we
available.
think. Like all it needs is like, like this is something that could be on like ESPN 3 at like 2 in the morning or something. Like the replay of it. Like,
I mean
I mean, I really do
completely
think
or like
it's so quintessentially American. Like, of course, the Euro, all that, but just like the idea of like riding insane amount of miles through like literally middle America, like literally geographically middle America. And it's just like such a positive experience too. It's like, I think that was the thing for me that stood out was just like everyone always says the whole town gets behind it, but you actually do. I mean, I've never been to any event where it's just like the amount of unofficial just like people with tents or just like ice chests in their trucks in their front, like people just in chairs, just like with the cowbells, like just wanting to see the spectacle is like so cool. And even on the
I
back
mean
end of the race, it's like even when it's like how long have they been out there just being like, you got this, good job, just saying it for like every single person, just like, and I don't know, the race itself, like the course. I mean, I can get into that later, but well, the like community aspect is very powerful from the actual community, like the locals, and then also from the other riders, like riding with all these people, just knowing you're doing something hard. You know, it's like to me that's pretty powerful, and like I did feel like inspired by it, and like shout out the guy that yelled "Holy Spirit" as I was like fixing my freak mechanical. I was just like, "What's up?" As I'm like praying my chain doesn't drop again, as like I put it back on, and then like you try to pedal, and then like you're in too hard a gear and you're just like, oh, it's just like I'm not that experienced in freak mechanicals, so like sorry. Um but yeah, like
and and then you're just like, wow, I think that was the Ian Boswell group. I think that
man,
was the Peter Vacock group.
dude. Uh
I'm just like, I think that was the Griffin Easter group that just went by me. Wow.
yeah, so
Dude, who's
at the Water Oasis, I'm on Justin McQuarrie's like his classic like long stream POV upload because he's like near death at the Water Oasis, which I stopped at to pee because like I have a terrible bladder. This is just like a thing, an affliction I've had my whole life. But I don't need pity. It's okay. But like, so I always need to pee. It was at mile 92. I felt great. Like to be honest, like not even trying to flex. Just like I felt fine. Just call it Texas heat training. I don't know. I felt good. I was eating, following the literal pro tips. Just don't stop eating and drinking. And I didn't, and I was okay. Um, but I was at this water oasis, and I had stopped to pee, and I was like, well, I may as well just like put some ice in my and put some more water in my in my bladder because it was like my hydration bladder because it was like close to going out. But anyway, it wasn't that much longer left. And I look up and there's just like Justin McQuarrie just has his like head under like the spigot of this like big water tub thing. And I just go Justin. Because I know the guy, we're friends. Um, and then he just like rides off and just like looks like he's not well, but he finished. And yeah, he's the diabetic one, that's like his thing. And his like insulin pump got like kinked or something. So he had to resort to Zins, just like chewing Zins because like he couldn't eat, like he couldn't get the glucose. So anyway, there's so many stories out there, and that's just one of them. But everyone has a
You
story.
like Zen instead of the high carb movement might be like the gateway to making gravel younger. Like, how do we reach Gen Z and Gen
Right.
Alpha? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
we need to put some like I don't know, extreme nicotine and caffeine into like never second or something, or like
Right, right, right.
ketones need some sort of like tobacco adjacent, like with the calming effect of CBD, like Delta 9 or something.
Yeah, and then instead of tandem bikes, you have like three-person bikes for like the poly couples.
Yeah, I mean, just
I don't know how that'll
gravels.
go over in Kansas. It might be just gravel normies as they are. That might be as tolerant as it gets. But I don't know. There are very, very
Just
lovely people out there. Amazingly like kind people. Like anywhere you look, like you were never alone. Is like my main like thesis of that. Is like you were never alone. And yeah.
dude, speaking of demographics, it's like what was it like there? It's like was it just people speaking Gironese? Was it European people? Was it gravel dads? Did everyone seem like an employee of Canyon Bikes or something? Like
Dude,
what was the
so
vibe?
I got there, so we spent all of Tuesday driving. Got there Tuesday night, and then we were staying a little bit outside of Emporia at this campground, this cabin. And then Wednesday going into like the main street, and all until I saw Ben Delaney, everything I heard around me was accented English or not English at all. And you're Europeans, by the way. I'm not talking people who were speaking Japanese. Although there was Japanese people that were there because I heard them call them out. But yeah, that Wednesday especially, just somehow like I guess all the Americans were still getting in or were out doing their recce's or something. But all I heard was just like European accented English being spoken around me, which is
Dude,
I mean that's
you're just
great.
like you're
The SWAT club guys like rode past me and Ben Delaney like was trying to get like an interview with them, and they were just like acting autistic and like they
dude,
didn't
you're
know
just
what he
like
was.
how did the SWAT guys, the SWAT club team get their sprinter van across the ocean here? You're just like, how did that happen? You just see some branded SWAT club sprinter and you're just like, who are you guys? By the way, if you just watch SWAT Club on
Yeah,
YouTube, and it's just like these videos of like true Euro people, like Euro team that's like seems like the privateer model or like some nepo babies funding it. I don't know, but
right.
it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
the funniest, like insane, like taking gravel seriously, like vibe.
There was other ones. There was this team that I think had men and women on it, and I can't remember what they were called now, but they're one of the teams that's like sent me flyers for their truck arrays. Like I recognized the logo and they were riding around with the jersey of that. And I don't know if it's like a coffee shop in Girona. Like I'm not sure the derivation of the I don't or I thought it was just like this DJ collective is what I had thought. And then I saw that jersey like riding down the street in Emporia. And it's like yeah, and then there's like everyone just winds up at the coffee shop, Gravel City Roasters. Like the line is like an hour deep, and it's just like bless those baristas like having to like all these like Europeans ordering flat whites.
Dude, you know what all the Euro teams need to do to be successful? Let Americans on their team. It's the Cecily
The
Decker
Cecily
slash
Decker.
Emily Newsom theory. Like,
Yeah.
aren't they both on paw racing?
Yeah,
Like,
they are. And they're like yeah, no, they're great. I think there's another American too. I think she's American. But I'm not sure actually. But anyway, um Yeah, yeah, they should. I asked Cecily Decker. I talked to her for a little bit, and I was like, "What's it like being an American on paw racing?" And she said she had like a kind of quirky answer, but she's something about like she's like, "Yeah, I think it's like good. I think it, I think it works both ways. I think it's good for or something." She said it in like in a funny way, but yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
while you're look this up, look up the lifetime standings right now and like navigate to their page. Because I will say that the lifetime Grand Prix is interesting because it's being challenged. Sophia and Cecily are tied for first on the women's
Dude,
side with
Cecily and
Cecile.
Cecile LeJeune.
I mean, the Cecily Cecile 1-3, 1-2. Um, but
Yeah, the
isn't this
one
website
technically the
hilarious,
one
by the
three.
way? It's like
Why is it in
pictures.
like a picture form? Like why can't I like why can't I should be able to like run my like mouse over the name and then copy it and then paste it into a new tab and then Google. Like this is
Dude,
something I
they
should
just
be able to. Why did they upload it as if it's like another is this like a were they gonna make cards out of this and they just took the JPEG of like the card, the trading
yeah.
card or so like that's what it
For
looks
those
like. It looks like the
for those
trading
of
card.
you for those of you listening, the Lifetime Grand Prix website basically just uploaded like two JPEGs with the standings on them,
Yeah,
like
not like an
with the
actual
podium
chart or
behind.
like so it's funny because I get look, they can only focus on one thing at a time apparently, and it's the live
Listen,
stream.
listen. They gave us the live stream, but if you wanted to copy and paste these highlights or these standings, like it's just not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. Um, yeah, man. Dude.
Yeah, it's on the men's side too. Keegan's at 52 points, Brendan Johnston 48, Matt Beers 47, and then
Brendan Johnston is the Trekkie guy, right? That's Brendan Johnston. Is that
is he?
Trekkie? I think it's the Trekkie guy, but it's also just like I can't say even just saying Trekkie out loud without knowing who he is specifically is makes me feel like not well inside or something. But
Dude, and then the larger narrative on the live stream that Payson and is it Chemo and the other broadcaster is just that like Cam Jones is not just winning Unbound, but he's locking up a wild card spot. And he's not just locking up a wild card spot, he's going to be towards the top of the standings. And it's like, yeah, I guess that is pretty interesting. Like, I guess, you know, it's quite an interesting series and it has its flaws, but also like it's
are they
something
it's
and it's
like are they
exciting.
is something actually being built? We waffled so much pre Sea Otter and then we saw Sea Otter and we felt bullish. And then I think we saw Traka and then maybe we are like, oh, they're doing something lifetime and now it's like it just shows how young the sport is and how like things are happening so quickly. Speaking of Cam Jones, he posted today, if there's anyone that deals in like international finance, Cam Jones posted on Instagram today that he needs help cashing in uh his prize money because he's on like a tourist visa, I guess. I don't know. Are they going to make a special we know like our sort of government is a bit in shambles, but are they going to make I think Lifetime should petition them to make a special like privateer visa that they can come here and it's like, look, none of these races really have prize purses, so it's not going to be that much money you have to tax. But in case they do, like they have this special one. They are going to be content creating though, and like chances are they could get really injured and wind up in a hospital. Like it might need its own designation, like the privateer
Dude,
visa.
70% of American grassroots races are sponsored by like a regional law firm where like one of the
Or like
partners
the
is
State
just
Farm, or
some
like this
some
local
some
State
gravel
Farm.
guy.
Yeah.
It's like if we can just pool all of the resources of all the grassroots races, all the legal and insurance services to allow, you know, the irony of the guy who won Unbound, Cam Jones, like can't accept money due to his visa. Like
I was like,
it's so gravel. It's just the
it's
most
so
gravel
gravel.
thing ever.
It's I messaged him and I was like, Lifetime has lawyers. Just like put pressure on Lifetime to help you out. Like they're a very big company. They have lawyers on retainer. Like
Dude,
ask
right
them
now
how to do it.
there's like a like 17-year-old hitter, and he's either going to be like a gravel pro or he's going to be a lawyer to like solve this problem. And like he's just like, well, I just knew I was always going to be involved with gravel, so
The
became
intricacies
the
of like the financial intricacies of gravel, and like it's like the tort law that you need to know to be able to navigate the gravel space. Yeah.
well. I think we should talk about what everyone wants to hear, and it's let's hypothesize how Dylan Johnson would have done if he were in the race. Just like the most insane possible like thing to talk about.
Just like, actually, it would have been Dylan Johnson that I would have almost crashed out instead of John Borstelmann. And
Yeah,
that would have been
I need to
beautifully
find.
poetic.
Apparently, in the live stream, I read
Oh,
this on the Velo
he
News.
was in it. I
Like,
saw they like
yeah, but like he was it was early in the race, and I can only imagine the impression. But it's just like we're looking at a very fast Unbound. We're talking 20 miles an hour, which is absolutely
I
insane.
didn't think I never thought we'd be able to beat Lachlan's time, but here we are. I think it's gonna
Dude, I'm just
happen.
like I'm the ultimate just like hater of like a Strava ride. Like, yeah, I mean, just a big tailwind today. It'll be hard to replicate this one ever again.
Dude, the tailwind that we had getting back, like finishing like the last like 30 miles for me, I would say, like 70 something to the end. Um, God, it was so awesome. I mean, it was just such a great day out there. It's just like I felt like I felt like I was made to be, not by anyone specifically, but just by like the legend that is this race, and then the North Course, that it's like the hardest thing you've ever done. And like, I mean, it is hard. And then so many people were like, "This is your first century?" Like, and it's just like, yeah, I just never felt motivated to ride that long. It's like I gotta do it for like, a big show. And so like, yeah, it, it was hard. Like it was definitely hard, and it was unlike anything I've ever ridden here in Texas before. It was just so dynamic is like the best way I can describe the course. Like when it's fast, it's really fast. When it's rough, it's really rough. There's like the huge ruts that like were made in the mud and then got dried out and like caked in, and then it's just like a truck tire's width, and then like any direction you go, it's like you're like wiping out, and like that's terrifying. But it's just like undulating up and down and up and down and up and down, and it's almost like you'd rather just keep going up to avoid going down the rollers. And I was grateful to like when I was talking to people, some pros afterwards, and then in the DMs, I was just like, dude, these like rollers with the ruts were unlike anything. I was like genuinely scared. Not like scared, but like petrified, and like but or like scared to a standstill or something, like deer in headlights scared. But it was like something it was like I'm thinking about like my like death like while I'm riding down these, like going 30 miles per hour down these ruts, and like you can't, like if you pull your rear brake too hard, like your your wheel will wash out, and you'll hit one of the edges, and you'll like you know at the very least just like fall over, but like probably way worse. And all the pros were just like, "Oh yeah, they're really scary." I'm like, "Okay, good. It wasn't just me." Um, but yeah, it
They're,
was
they're
just like
even they're even more scary when the normies are only going 11 miles an
when the
hour, like
exactly,
taking up the like easiest ruts,
exactly. All I can say is that like at least it's like, yeah, have it separate days, man. You're not going to offend me. I'm not going to be in like the Velo News comments like complaining our spirit of gravel is dead, just like some old dumb boomers like love to fucking whine about that shit. But yeah, like yeah, I mean, luckily the race I guess was already, and both races were not completely decided, I would say, but like it wasn't, I don't know. I can't speak for them, but I don't I think it was like mostly kind of, at least in the groups they were in, was like decided, but I can't say that concretely, like I was not there. But
I think another thing worth just sort of expounding on is just this man Simon Pellaud. Like the two-door cyclist. Tudor has their gravel team, and he's basically come to Sea Otter and come to Unbound and ridden off the front, like, and I think it's challenged the Americans, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, but it's just been an interesting, like, he mentions in the interviews, like, he wants to race with panache. Like, he's like, yeah, I came all the way over here and I like didn't sleep and I barely got my muesli at the local Walmart. But like, if I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna like ride like insane. And it seems to have made better races for us to watch. Like it's just sort of this new insane era where if it's sketchy in the peloton, like, you're just safer out front, right? I don't know, like, what's happening is my
Dude, it's just
question.
like the evolution. Like, you throw things at the wall and see what sticks. And right now, this is what's sticking. Because, and in the women's too, like, the group was too big and they couldn't get organized. And then there was just like experienced people that were like crashing everyone out. I don't know. Like it, yeah, it's like
Dude,
this is the tactic of the day. And then maybe, next year we'll be back to like 50 up sprints. I don't know. But as long as it's like digestible, broadcastable, it's just like Payson wants to ride, but we need him in the booth. We need him on the call, you know?
yeah, he better be on the call. Better be
Yeah.
on the call. Like so. I don't know. Can one of these sponsors just like give him some sort of like media rights sponsor? But additionally, Simon Pellaud, second place in Unbound 200. After the race, he was being interviewed, and he legitimately said, they were like, "What's next for you?" And he's like, "I'm just looking for like a bedroom in Leadville." Like, kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
just like it was like half joking but not joking, but just back to that like Euro visa like issue where it's just like a very hilarious sport.
Back to like I'm at the level now where like Euros are asking me like where you staying? Is there room there? Like I did not have any Euros stay with me, but I was asked. That did happen leading in. Uh but yeah, like it's I'm really excited. It's like Simon Pellaud, like someone get him, someone give him a couch in Leadville. There's got to be some basement apartment somewhere outside, you know.
You're like, I will make muesli for him. I will go individually buy oats, dried cranberries, and nuts and mix them together so he can have what he needs in America.
Nah, we only do breakfast tacos. That's all I eat in the morning, and that's all I know how to make. The no, now the new thing that I'm gonna make happen, and then just sort of let it go and let it do its own thing is like my whole thing was like the heat never got to me. Like I was solid. Like honestly, the worst thing was just like, well, so I was riding really hard in the beginning, like hitting all these PRs, probably riding too hard. And then my chain started dropping. Then I got like scared of the chain dropping at the aid station. My dad sorted me out. My parents were like so dialed at the aid station. My dad's gonna talk about this for the rest of my life. I swear to God. But he's just like, people kept asking us how many people were on our team and if we had any pros because the aid station was so dialed. Um, yeah. So I waited at the aid station for like I peed a couple times, ate a sandwich, ate some fruit, drank a Coke. My parents had the ice socks. Like, thank you, pros, for your content. You know, we know how to do that. You guys are leading the way in like optimized aid station. I was not in and out. So, like, 7 minutes at the aid station for me, just chilling and talking to people and stuff is like 3 hours in pro time. So definitely, like, I could have been faster, but I was having a good time with it. When I left the aid station, I went down Hitter Row, which is like where all the pro tents were. And because some of these people like know who I am now, they were just like, holy, holy, like, do you need anything? And I'm like, yeah, give me like Rosa Kloser's ice sock. I'll take it. No, but I already had my own. Um, but yeah, like the worst part of the race for me was that like after my chain started dropping and before I got to the aid station, because I really needed to pee and I was getting nervous about my chain and I was getting passed a lot because I just lost my rhythm, and like lost the groups I was in. And so like after that, and then it was like a headwind and it was like a bit uphill. Then after that, so from like mile 60 something to the end, it was just like I was hitting negative splits. I was getting faster. And I felt like so locked in, other than those ruts that were scary. And then just like looking around and just seeing these like grassy, hilly plains with not a tree in sight. I've like never seen anything like that in my life. That kind of geography. Never in my life have I seen anything. And then there was like so many unofficial aid stations, like people out there. Um, but I wasn't like a hitter coded mood, so I didn't stop at any of them. Again, except again when I needed to pee at the water oasis at mile 92. But yeah, I never got hot, and I could feel that it was hot. I've unlocked some kind of special heat protocol where we live. It also was not humid out there. The sun was strong at like 85 degrees or whatever it was, but it wasn't humid. At least definitely not to the degree it gets here where we live. And so just used to that like insane, just like suffocating heat here definitely helped. So like the privateers are all up in the DMs, like asking where I live now, and maybe I should just tell them different places. They know Texas, but maybe I should just give them different, just send them all over the state and see how they last. I mean, I know Karo Mignon must have some special, like, just natural, just like heat power because she won Gravel Locos too, and that was like way hotter than Unbound was, like way hotter. They was getting into the 90s like while they were racing. Um, but yeah, the
They're
heat.
calling it they're calling it the Gravel Locos Unbound 200 double.
Yeah, try when the double is actually Gravel Locos and Unbound, not Traka. Just like just like when you're on a mission to just not acknowledge you're a gravel, and you're just like
Right. I know you made up the double of the Traka. Is it the Traka 360 or is it
360 Unbound 200, and then maybe we
it's
can
like
have the Traka 200 Unbound 100 double can be one. I don't know.
I mean I support. I do think they are insane challenges, and to win them in 1 year will kind of be like winning all 5 monuments in the Tour de France or something. Like for me as a gravel head, like I see the gravel challenge as butts harder.
Yeah, I think like yeah, and you were talking about this like the last couple days. It's like we want we want more than the 200. It's like the 100 needs to have its own narrative. Obviously, the XL has its narrative. There's like room in the sport. Like the talent wouldn't be diluted if people were putting more attention on the 100. Of course, the 100, the women's 100 was won by one Tiffany Cromwell, who's who's living in sin with Valtteri Bottas. And then the men's race was won by friend of the pod, Hayden Christian, who's a really cool kid that I know. And yeah, like that. But you wouldn't know if I don't know if you didn't already know or so. Like that's not something that's like it gets like a post on Instagram, but like that's it. But it doesn't get any kind of like. Did they shout it out on the live stream? I wonder. Like they might not have even done that. Who knows? But yeah,
I
I do
have a
think
feeling
there's
I have a feeling Payson shouted it out. Uh, but I think it goes back to like I think Alexei Vermeulen's point that he kind of harps on when you listen to him, is just that like there is a gap in youth development, and we all know these 28 to 35-year-old pros, but like what's next when there are young people who need resources and they need narratives and they need to like learn how to do gravel and like if they want to do it, and it's like creating the pipelines to like multiple signature events where the winner hated Christensen can end up on Trek Drift List or the Pod Devo team or whatever it is. It's like I don't know, just making sure that it's not just about like listening to somebody's podcast when they are still, I don't know, like just whatever happens to the classic world tour to gravel to longer endurance to media pipeline that seems to be emerged.
Yeah. No, I like completely agree. It's like we need like these young bucks to like root for to come up. Like they need to be supported. It's like it, you know, all the Renee Hirsch tires in the world can't just go to Ted King, you know. Like other people need them too.
How long was is the Unbound XL, which is the longest race?
350 miles. And that one does have different, so they leave on the Friday. So like my joke with that one was like that's actually the best race because you don't have to be up at 3 a.m. to do that one because they leave at like 2 p.m. on Friday. And they ride through the night and like Rob Britton, who beat Lachlan Morton, finished like kind of early in the morning. I can't I don't know what time, but like and then everyone rolls in, you know. Heather Jackson won. She did pretty well for the women. I'm always like I always just want like to be Heather Jackson's friend or so. I never interacted with her at any point, but
She's
soon,
definitely
soon.
paved the way of being a non-lifetime athlete who makes a very interesting schedule. Mm. I
Is
think
she going to
I
Kona?
think
Well, I watch Kona because Heather Jackson is going to Kona.
isn't there some like running one called like Western States or something that has a live stream? I don't know. I
And then you log
support.
into those live streams and then it's like 1.2 million and you're just like, who are these fucking people that are watching this shit? Like
Yeah. Um I think I don't know, it just seems like a great weekend and just gravel has so many narratives and young sport and like just so much content coming out. Like
I just think that like
we haven't even seen the Joe Godel video yet.
the raw highlights are up. The raw highlights are up. Uh yeah, I just think that like yeah, dude, I saw Joe Godel. It's like I can't go by without saying this. Like I kept seeing him like out and about, and I'm just like that damn kid, man. And there was like multiple people with him in that same kid, and like I don't know like if it was like his team or he has like other cyclists, but I'm just like that kid. Like I can't with that kid, man. Seems like a great guy, but like I just can't. Yeah, there's just like I feel like I keep getting asked like it's like with my opinion, like it's like I'm expected to be cynical or something about it, which like that's never the point of this. It's like we're just joking around, but I'm actually like I love this sport, obviously, but it's like people want me to be like, right? So Unbound is overrated, right? And I'm just like it was fucking fantastic. Like I don't know what you want me to say. Like it's a lot. Like I don't know what I was doing trying to activate so hard. Like am I trying to be an influencer? Like am I not? Am I just trying to meet these people that I like really look up to and watch on YouTube and like on Instagram a lot and like talk to in DMs? Um I don't know what I was trying to do out there, but it was exhausting. I'm glad Friday was cut short just to like get my legs back from under me, but like yeah, I met so many cool people, connected with a lot of people I've only talked to in DMs, which is cool, and got to experience just like the dynamism that is like these Flint Hills. It's just like I've been hearing about the Flint Hills ever since I started following this sport. And like now I got to say I did it and like finish strong. That was the other thing. It's like I knew if you put a gun to my head, I could ride 100 miles. Like I'm not, I know that much, but yeah, finishing like feeling good. Just like I always just need to pee all the time, but you know, we'll maybe have to get that addressed at a later date. But it's yeah, it was just like something about it's like pretty magical out there. Even take away all the like hurrah of it. It's just like such an insane place to ride where it's like one thing 1 minute, something else another minute, just like rolling hills and all of a sudden it's flat and fast and then all of a sudden there's just these pros going past you and like people are all like looking out for each other out there. It's just like, yeah, the spirit of gravel is like still alive. Everyone's just like happy to be like suffering with each other and yeah, no one's alone. It's just like you sometimes can lose the forest for the trees of like it doesn't all the whole narrative of the weekend doesn't all need to become like, you know, too many people don't know how to ride on like loose rocks and crash other people out, or just like some just like dumb gravel dad blocked someone and like, fucked everything. Like the greater narrative still is that like gravel is doing great. It's fine. There's kinks. It'll be worked out. I'm pretty confident. So, yeah.
Dude, when somebody asked your dad if he was representing a team or whatever, if he was a mechanic for a team, and he's like, I'm actually the personal mechanic to future gravel Hall of Famer, Holy Spirit of Gravel.
Yeah, right. No, he told me, he said, no, my daughter's I didn't say autistic. What did he say? He said, oh, my daughter's like high maintenance and melodramatic. Which I'm not. We didn't actually have that much stuff. I think it's just because a lot of people didn't have tents, which is hard to get, especially like if you're flying, like, but that seems more than anything, that seems to be like if you're driving, you got to take a tent. Like you can't just be out there in the sun, even though by our standards it wasn't all that hot. Like it's still the sun. It's like you got to have the tent, the tent, the Costco table. We did have our rusty Park Tools bike stand that we leave outside all the time. Was like out there. Um, my dad did clean the drivetrain. I didn't have any more drop chains after that. So yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
watching the Veloworthy video and it opens with like the Gravel Hall of Fame induction. And I didn't realize that they like, I had a joke that like they have a master's green jacket, but they have the cut
The
off blue
denim.
jean.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, dude. I would see that around and I was like, are you in is this something you, but like I felt like I saw people wearing it, but I actually didn't know who they were. But
Dude.
yeah, the Gravel
It's
Hall
just
of
like
Fame. I didn't know who some of them were, but
they also sell them for like
yes,
$400 to
yes.
mentally
So
ill people.
they were, I'm not even that mentally ill to get the jacket, but they did have like the denim jacket that said Unbound on it. And I was like, I did think about, well, you got the cap. So I was like thinking about getting a shirt, and then like I saw people were doing the packet pickup and like there was like a shirt that came in the packet pickup. And I was like, well, that'll be my shirt. But yeah, I did get a poster of, I need to make a meme. I did get a poster of the like a commemorative poster that my dad did buy of the route, um that shows all the different distances and like all different colors. And then it didn't occur, but like we got a big one as a poster, and then he got like a small one, and because it was like $2 or something, and it just looks like a GTA map. Like it looks like they just skinned like a Grand Theft Auto, like Liberty City, San Andreas map over it. Just like very funny. Just like, uh, yeah, goes back to the gravel video game that some like autistic Dutch man made, where he like individually puts every statistic of every gravel racer in a mod in the cycling team manager 2024 game. Still need to get that game and download support this man's mod.
Man, I need to get the Gravel Hall of Fame cut off denim jacket and like just be like, okay, next Mid South, I'm gonna wear this on the denim
The
ride.
denim
Like
ride.
I'm gonna be the coolest gravel dad, and I'm gonna put some like tall boys in my bottle holders, my bottle cages, and like I'm gonna look so fucking cool, man.
Yeah, dude, the sober gravel dads who break sobriety because they get the denim jacket and just like ruin their lives, and just like abandon their families. And it all started with like spending $300 on like the gravel denim jacket.
Yeah, it's like, man, the only reason I like gave up my 7 years of sobriety is because Athletic Brewing didn't make a 32-ounce can. Like, I really just needed the huge high life, you know?
Yeah, yeah. In the paper bag, in the bottle cage.
Like,
Man.
yeah, you just need to fully buy into like the gravel degenerate, like, you know, like, should I put black keys on the boombox or what? Like on the JBL?
No, you're gonna put the Bobby Wintle experience. Dude, when you see like there was never a moment I was outside that I didn't see Bobby Wintle outside. And then JP, the stable cyclist, he told me that like he interviewed Bobby Wintle at like 7 a.m. for the production that he's doing. And I was like, was he on? And they go, oh yeah, he's exactly the same. And we were just like, wow, give me some of what this guy's having. You know what I mean? This Bobby Wintle guy. It's just like,
There's
um,
something in the still water.
yeah. Yeah. I wonder when the Chase Work documentary is gonna come out. It's gonna be a good one, I feel. That was one of the funniest things I saw was someone sent me a picture of me. I started talking to Chase Work when he was at like the Continental activation and was just showing off his bike and like he cut the drops or something. Like he did all this stuff. He has this like funky setup and I'm a big Chase Work fan, big Chase Work fan. And I just start riffing with him and then it kind of occurs to me that it's like being filmed and then it's like going to be in the stuff. Oh, and but what's funny is that someone sent me a picture of this happening and was like, didn't want to ruin the magic. And I was like, I wanted to say hi, but didn't want to interrupt and ruin the magic.
I
And
mean, by magic, it's witnessing three future gravel Hall of Famers doing what they do.
dude, yeah, yeah, that'll be a great induction ceremony. Like, Wout Wark will be like a teenager by then, and he'll be like looking proudly on his father, and then like there'll be stable cyclists, and there'll be me. I'll get the denim jacket. I'll get the denim jacket that I've wanted all this long. It's like I never bought one because I always knew I'd get one.
Dude, it's like it turns out like somehow like you get really drunk and you're just like crying and you're just like, since I just have wanted to be the youngest gravel Hall of Fame inductee of all time. That's always been my goal. And like it's just like, are you okay? Is that really why you did all this?
Uh, no, it's just because certain brands out there said that they could send me they could s- I could do a DJ set at a race and it would have to be presented by I'm not going to say who what brand but presented by so and so and that's why I'm doing all this and then I'll get my bike that I want. I don't know which one it is yet, but I'll get a bike and then I'll never post again. I'll lead everyone on and perform, get all the kit I need, and then never post once more, and then never hear from me. Um, you might just see me
Yeah,
out there riding. You might see me out there in the distance. Like I'll enter. I'll do it like I'll enter like the 25 or something, and I'll go to Unbound and ride the 25 miler. Um, yeah.
you know what? Another funny, since you were on the bike, you didn't really pick this up, but Rosa Kloser won Unbound last year, and it seemed like there was more media focus on her this year, obviously as the winner, and but they really mentioned that she's a PhD candidate, like more than ever. It sort of was
Yeah.
reaching the Kristen Faulkner former venture
Former
capitalist
finance,
zone.
yeah, former venture cap. Yeah, remember how they said that like every 4 seconds?
It's very American to like hammer down like, oh, this person's also smart or something, or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I don't even know what it is, but it's like, can you imagine like accomplishing something like that while you're a professional writer, but then also just like every interview is like, hey, smarty pants, like what's it like being so smart and good at riding a bike?
Yeah, yeah. And she's just over here just like, oh, I can it's like, oh, I have to turn in my dissertation and just like yeah, like doesn't want to think about it. It's just like I don't know. I don't even know. I have no idea what that is even about. But yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
her
sort of it,
dissertation is on green shipping. I was actually talking to her about it today, actually. And I was like, we got to have you on the pod and you can talk about what you study, like, what is it, the Suez Canal or something like that? That's what I said to her. And she was like, green shipping. And I was like, yeah, come on the pod and tell us all about green shipping.
just like being just a standard American of like, so is it bad if I am an Amazon Prime member? Like, is that what you're saying? And just making it about your own consumption, and you're just like, well, I don't drive to Walmart or Target. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing.
instead
Like
of instead of
I
just
don't.
letting someone talk about it, like putting your own like terrible understanding of the narrative, it's just like
It's like
I did stop buying. I did stop buying all my Tupperware off Amazon. And I only have a few glass bowls now that I seal everything in. And I don't use plastic bags anymore. And I really cut down on my Amazon purchases. I really cut down. And
yeah, and
she's just like, I don't know, I missed a turn. I don't know what happened. Like, yeah.
yeah, she probably missed a turn because like she was caught by somebody in that convo before and was just like thinking of how annoying it was. Like,
Yeah, she's like what she has to like get to at the end of they're just like, and how do you manage this? And yeah. And she just sees like this other like subconsciously she actually told me that the guy you don't see it on the cat on like the shot, but the guy that's standing there at the corner, she said he was pointing the other direction. But like I screen capped it to make some memes out of it, like and like she was down for it. I wasn't gonna do it if she was like really upset about it, but like she was down, and so she told me because in the screen cap you see his hand pointing the way she's supposed to go, but she said that he was pointing the other direction, and it's just like, who is this guy? Was he like placed there by Sophia or something? Was he like a specialized insider that was like pointing the wrong direction specifically at Rosa Kloser? Like he was pointing in German, and so only she understood it. I don't know.
yeah, it's just gravel's here, and now we're back to Leadville, the least gravel race of the lifetime Grand Prix, right? Is that fair to say?
I think so, because like the thing with Schwamigan is they say it's like it's not really a mountain bike race, and like also they also say Leadville is not really like Leadville's thing is like it's not like super like I don't know. You ride up roads and power line. You always hear about power line, but like Leadville's thing is like the elevation. So just like your brain exploding at Leadville. I don't know. I don't know. My Unbound block was mostly just about making sure like I was motivated to eat and my stomach wouldn't like I wouldn't just start like shitting myself, and then that I was good with the heat. So my I don't know what I'm gonna do for my Leadville block. I'm not going, but I still need to do a Leadville block. Like I gotta be on brand. I gotta be with the culture. So
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know how
just
I'm gonna do my
acclimating.
Leadville block because there's no elevation around here, but I don't know. I'm just gonna
There's a
climb to
way.
I'm gonna like take the Zwift up to my roof. That's the highest point I can get my Zwift. And I'm gonna Zwift on the roof. And that'll be like elevation training.
Do you feel like we're gonna see some like privateer hyperbaric chamber, or like they're gonna do the thing where don't like world tour pros, they go to like altitude hotels and they're locked in like a
Yeah,
chamber
yeah, yeah. Yes,
where they
this is a thing
like
that they do. Yeah.
they're gonna have some of those, but it's gonna be like, I don't know, in Tucson or Silver City. It's like there's a new altitude hotel in Silver City.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, when I ran into Carrie Werner and Finsty, I asked them, "What's on the menu tonight? Ice water and chips?" No, I didn't say that. That's a Valley of Tears joke. Go back and listen to the Valley of Tears pod if you want to get that joke. No, but I did call him out for like, dude, you're ruining Silver City for the locals, man. Everyone just wants to go to Silver City now. And he was like, "Ha ha ha. Yeah, it's great." In his classic Finsty way, you know.
Yeah, it's I think it's good that the Grand Prix is interesting. It's good that, there's gravel drama. Maybe it's bad, you know,
It's just stuff
there's
that
just
has to like get worked out. Like it's just it is what it is or something. And like it's sad that like it's I think honestly the main takeaway from that the drop that the crash happened at like 6 kilometers. It happened at like point zero, like whatever mile. Like it happened really, really early. Like I think the one of the bad crashes. And one of the girls, um, she's not Pa, but she's Europe and she did like Traka and stuff. I can't remember her name. Clara or some I think Clara was her name. She crashed really bad and the other narrative with that story was like she was just like in a like on the side of the road just laid out, and it took like an hour for like an ambulance to get to her. And it does make you think that like, oh yeah, like there probably isn't enough like services that exist, like the infrastructure, like to have a bunch of ambulances, because there was like crashes everywhere. Like that's like my from like my personal like race. It's just I saw not so much like laid out dramatically, but just you could tell crashes had happened. What I saw more of were punctures, and I got really paranoid about the punctures because I had on my way like to the aid station, I had taken a hand pump, and then I guess when I was pulling out all the garbage and all that from my because again I was eating, I was told it's an eating competition. I took that seriously, so I took out all the crap from my jersey pockets where I was stuffing all the garbage. Like I guess I had also pulled out the hand pump that I had there, and then I didn't pick it back up, and so I didn't have it for the second half. And I mean I had CO2s, but like no one knows how to use those. Like let's be honest, like no one really knows how to use a CO2, you know what I mean? So like I yeah, I was kind of nervous about flatting for a bit because my God, like so many flats, unreal. Like I couldn't, I don't know, but yeah, got lucky, truly blessed experience. Just like activated a lot, didn't
Yeah,
crash, didn't flat.
before we wind down, you're kind of the queen of activations and pointing out the activation movement in gravel.
Yeah.
Was there anything you felt particularly activated by, like getting an NV stick from Alexei Vermeulen? Like what activated you?
Um, something that like it like the kinetic tent. Like I got the heavy spiel on ketones. I felt like I was being like asked to join a cult. That was like the most activated against my will that I felt all at all times, was just like walking past um the kinetic booth or whatever. And then they were like multiple of them everywhere, and they were just like staring at you. It was kind of crazy. Chamois butter was like pretty dialed. I don't even use it, but they were pretty great. They had so much stuff out there for people. The EF tent was like very funny. It was like kind of sad in that there was just like this expectation. I guess he did at some point, like Lachlan Morton showed up and did like a signing or something. But he there was just like his helmet or something he had crashed in before that was like encased in like glass, or at least just like hard plastic, clear plastic. As if it was just like a football helmet that like Troy Aikman had signed, that like your uncles had forever. It was just like Lachlan Morton's helmet or someone's on EF's helmet. It might have not been his. And then they were giving out a bunch of stuff, and they're like, Lockie's gonna be here soon. Lockie's gonna be here soon. And you just see like gravel dads just kind of hanging around, just like waiting, like milling about, like waiting for him to show up. And I was just
They're
like,
like, Lockie better get his ass over here because I've got Payson screening at 7 p.m.
that is genuinely what it is like. Like I had people telling me where they were gonna be, like other pros, or not other pros as if I'm one, but pros. And then I just had things I just wanted to see. And it literally was this like, for people that know this reference, it's like being at South by Southwest. And it's like you cannot possibly see them all. Like there's people I wanted to run into that I missed. And then there was like some random Euro who I know is from Gerono just like sent me a video, and like the Giant build, like Giant had their own building, and like there was some panel going on there. I didn't even know what it was. And he's just like, where are you at? Like, I never saw these people. I mean, just like going into it next year, like now I know, like the activation schedule, like has to be like locked down and dialed. But then at the end of the day, like you end up just like when I met Paige Onweller, I just like, I, she had agreed to like link up and like maybe film something with me. And like, she's always been like a big supporter of the account. And then, she's just like, I just run into her on the street, and she has this guy following her that like is on a bike as well, and has like this insane set like camera setup. I wonder if I got a picture of that, or I got that on film. Like insane, like for her content machine, she has like stuff like that was like insane. Just like the amount of like content like create like if you call the athletes the creators, it's like their media team is like insane. There's like more of them than there are actual like elite racers or something. Just like so many photographers, so many like that's wild. At like so many corners too. There's like the on course people that take pictures that like are the JPEGs that then like they send you and stuff and you have to buy. But just like the actual like media people. Then you just see like Bobby Wintle like driving by in a Jeep and you're just like, what are you doing, man? Like, do you actually ride a bike? It's just like the Bobby Wintle thing. Like, I don't know.
Hey man, gravel's about more than just riding a bike. You know, you wouldn't understand because you're not a future gravel Hall of Famer.
He really is like campaigning for like an early ballot, like a one ballot
And
run,
I think
like
we
Hall
got to
of
give
Fame
it to him
position.
after the Stillwater Fires videos. Like
Yeah,
truly some of the greatest gravel content ever
it might
made.
be the greatest content ever made. The two videos, the like we're still on guys video, and then the like just like the him in tears. I mean, there's nothing else. Like, what is this sport, man? It's just like you have the Super Bowl of our sport in Emporia, Kansas, of all places, and like a worthy place for it to be. Like, I can't imagine it anywhere else. Absolutely amazing time I had. And then you have the Bobby Wintle video series. It's like there's going to be a 30 for 30 ESPN documentary on that
I
at
mean,
some
what a
point.
gravel season is all I gotta say so far. It's just like
I'm
pretty
honored to
crazy.
have been a part of it in my own normie way and just like people keep like I feel like I keep getting asked just like not that I'm not that I have any special insight but just my opinion on like people I think people want me to say that like the spirit of gravel is like it's like under threat and I was just like it's absolutely not. Like if they move the pros to separate days and they move them to separate days, it's just something that like an event of this size demands, but I don't, none of it makes me like cynical. Nothing like that would make me cynical. Like, the other big thing, like, because it is expensive. So it's like, and it is like, I couldn't do gravel locos because I was all in on Unbound kind of thing, even though I do gravel locos every year usually. But like, the roads were, like, I keep mentioning that to people is like all the major, like, crossing of like FM roads and like the state, like the paved, like actual roads were protected and like closed at all times, which is like, as someone that's like used to just like being like just assuming you're going to be roadkill at like any time, it just like that's something I really appreciated. Like the ambulance situation was like pretty messed up for people, but like that was like pretty much every single one I think was like closed and like directed. Like the barriers started so early. Of course, that's because they want to separate the elites in case it is like a sprint finish. They want to keep them separated. And like for the women's, like the third group, like for third, it was. Um, but yeah, like yeah, I mean, overall positive. Like you asked me before, would like you recommend this to like Joe Schmo normie? Um,
Like, is it worth somebody that's not just like some Midwestern person to like, and not a Californian because we know they all have unlimited resources. But
yeah,
like, if you're just somebody from like, the panhandle of Florida and like, just like, should you go? Is it worth taking 4 days of PTO and like making your wife and like 1.5 kids like go Airbnb for however many days, like 30 minutes away, like go to the activations and like, is it all worth it is the question.
yeah, it is, it is. Well, where else is this family gonna go? Like New York City, see go to the top of the rock for like
We're
forty
going to go to
dollars and
the
get the
we're going to go to the M&M store, like,
yeah,
just like
exactly right. Yeah, like yeah, it absolutely like obviously you're not going to become a content machine and like that's not why you're there, but it's like go out and just do it the one time and like say you did it and like be inspired by the chat, like put yourself out there and like try to ride the 100 even though you've never done a century before and just like see what happens and Like you'll probably surprise yourselves. And like if you write enough, I'm sure you can do it. And yeah, it's like don't make it something you do every year,
Dude,
but like
as inspirational as you're being right now, I do find it interesting just like how burnt out you were after,
oh
and
dude,
like
I
you
was
were like, just to I really have to say, like, your content suffered, not enough memes. You have, two cameras on your bike, and I'm not seeing any reels.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then I think you only did the 100 at a more than respectable normie pace. But then I think, like, what about all the privateers? Like, you said they had media obligations, and like they're doing
Dude, I
15
can't
bike
even
checks with
imagine.
different platforms. And it's like, you were cashed. Like, you were,
I was
not
so
just,
deaf.
but like, I don't know. What do you have to say about not just the privateers, but the media and people like working there?
Dude, the media, like shout out like Vela News crew who I saw. I know some of them personally, so like even outside of this account. And so I just can't believe just like having to have the mental bandwidth to like do 50 bike checks in the span of like 2.5 days. Like I don't even know how that's done and then how to be able to stay on and keep talking about the same damn bike. It's all the same thing. Just like this one
We're
is
just not
angled
sure.
this
We're
way,
not
but
sure
this one
we're still making it a game time decision on the tires, just
it's always a game
looking
time
like some
decision on the
Andrea.
tires. Always a game time decision on the tires. So you never actually know the most interesting thing about the bike, the tires. You don't actually know what they are. And then it's always just like there's always like an embargo on some part. And so they're always just like, this looks different than last year's model, but you're not allowed to talk about that yet. And the privateer's just like, yeah, I can't talk about it yet. It's just always like what happens with that. But like, yeah, shout out to like, and they're getting those videos, and they're a team, they're getting those videos out like every 5 minutes or something. Those bike check videos.
It's kind of like, I know you have like tons of content you'll be posting as it comes, but like it's just crazy to think like the career is more about, it's less about the race and more about the narrative that they built out of their content, which is like positive because only one person can win, but it's just like so much work is like all I can think about.
Too much work. I mean, and there's some of them like I had conversations with that like fully understand that and like know they have to go to the signing and then have to go to the panel and then have to go to the helmet activation and then the tire activation and then the next morning be up early to do the group ride, the chamois butter ride, the envy ride, the this and that and the other. Like that's the actual work and harder than winning Unbound. Like, they won't say that, but like or maybe they will, I don't know, but like seems harder to me. And like I'm ostensibly more capable of doing something like that than I am of winning Unbound by any stretch. So, but
You
yeah, I
go to
was
the
like,
expo, you go to the expo because if you take a selfie with the gravel dad, that's a fan for life. But if you, in the course of the selfie, turn and kiss them gently on the cheek or forehead, that's somebody who will pay $5 a month to your Patreon or Substack.
are you kidding me? They'll buy the envy right then and there. They'll buy the envy like off the rack. Pay cash for it with that one. For sure. Just like, yeah, I mean it's impressive. The whole machine is impressive. And like even like your regular gravel dad, triathlon mom family that shows up to these things. Like, even if you're not trying to get that activated, it's just like, just show up on the Thursday, activate on Friday, do a group ride in the morning. It's like, you'll be happy. There's the children's crit for like your toddler to do or something.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, go
the
on.
highlight was you just sending the picture of the kid in the pause shirt, and just like that was pretty funny. That's a great parent to make a custom kids pause shirt.
Yeah, and I mean to go out there, take the kid out there, custom kids paw shirt, like get them started young, you know? Get them in the culture young. It's like it's great because like, you know, if my uncle can learn what Little Egypt is at like 70 something,
Do you
then
think
the kids wearing the paw.
if the Pas Normal website has a kids section or like a tab at the top, do you think all the prices will go down 30%? Is that why there's no kids stuff available?
Because there's less fabric being used or something. Like, yeah, who knows? Oh, you just mean like optics wise, it'll go
Yeah,
down?
like
Like,
it'll be, their Rafa moment, their Rafa Walmart theory moment. But who knows? I
I
mean,
I didn't see anyone wearing that new pod jersey that the guy with like that weird haircut had, like that ad. Um, which there's a meme about that that needs to get posted.
yeah,
But
I think you said there wasn't much Pas Normal out there,
I
like
didn't.
on
I feel like
normies.
I didn't. I feel like I didn't see much. Like a lot of Pearl Izumi high vis gravel dads, a few Solitude bibs, Mechanism bibs, but like a lot of map out there. A lot of map. A lot of like other brands like Velocio and like stuff like that. Um, yeah, yeah. There was a lot of other stuff that I don't even know like off the top of my head. But like there was more map than Pa. Which is funny because I feel at some of the local races you see like the normie races we do in our area, like you see a lot of paw. But yeah, I didn't see much. And yeah, I was mapped out there. I'll be honest, I was mapped out. I was mapped out. Um yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I was so tired, man. I felt so good afterwards. Like I just wanted to like go to the bathroom, get a beer, like a street beer, and like watch the women roll through. Like I really wanted to see that, like be at the barriers for that, and I was, and that was super awesome. Um, I felt fine at the end. Like drank too much, probably like too much, but it's fine. And then went to like the awards, just like stumbled into the awards ceremony and just like but like it was the lifetime award ceremony. So like either they did the actual podium at like earlier or later, or they don't do it. I don't know. I walk in and like Cecily Decker is at the top step of the podium, and I'm like, yo, I'm a big Cecily Decker stan, but our girl Karo Mignon won this race, and then like it's you see the lifetime logo on like the podium blocks, and you're just like, huh. I forget that they still do like the lifetime podium is like a thing for the riders in the in the Grand Prix. That's like kind of funny. But yeah, like it's great because there's so much going on in like three blocks, and like you do kind of see the same thing over and over again, but it also is like comforting in a way after like day three. You're just like, okay. But but yeah, so tired. I know the meme suffered. We got the first one, the initial ones out, like the Traka Unbound double, but then like I don't know. Kiwis really seem to like the Cam Jones Lord of the Rings reference, which like I know probably could have been better, but like I was very tired. Um and that's all I had in the moment.
Yeah, it's like I was worried you were going to be posting like office meme, like The Office or something, which honestly
Oh
would
yes.
probably do well, but it's like
It
just
would do
somehow
well, but I'm never
writing Unbound led to like your brain rot, and you're just like you just completely lost it all. Like,
It was hard. I mean, it was like it was very doable, but it was also like this took a lot out like the drives, all the activating. Um
dude, when you're like talking to the bicycle station guy about like running a small business that sells pawn or mall in like some town in Indiana, that's just a
yeah,
heavy
yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, great guy. I like that guy. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I,
Um,
I ended up in a wormhole and just like watching like one of the bicycle station YouTube channels, like real world tire testing like videos. And it's like,
yeah.
why am I watching this? Like, is something wrong with me?
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, like but it's like very like it's just something that's very easy to have on those
It,
guys. And
it's
like
just like,
the
they're
guys
just like,
say,
okay, we're gonna put this tire on and we're just gonna push 300 watts for
Yeah.
5 minutes up this
And then
hill.
he's like, I think it was slower. It's just like what he says at the end, or he's like, this one's actually 7 seconds slower than the other one. And you're just like, what am I watching? Like,
I
you
mean,
watch the
truly,
whole thing.
it's kind of just like, to me, it's like if you're into like the wind tunnel Dylan Johnson realm, like you kind of have to also watch this content to like properly calibrate yourself as like, I see both sides. I see both sides.
Man, it's like you and I could start. We might have to just separately just start like use like my parents' driveway, like unpaved gravel, if you will, driveway, and I'm tire testing on the driveway. And
I mean, it might be a good for the vibes based coaching protocol, like somehow just
yeah,
some sort of completely like really poorly run scientific test, but it's also based on like feel.
it'll be and then I'll turn the vibes-based coaching protocol into like a cult, and then it'll be the next Nexium. Remember Nexium? It'll be like a Nexium tier cult,
Dude,
like the
it'll be
vibes-based. And it'll
vibe
be
based
like, dude,
coaching.
I remember when they were trying to get me to sign up at the Unbound 2026 Expo, and something seemed off about them.
They kept trying to get me to swig ketones and telling me that they tasted better than most ketone brands.
Yeah. And then next thing I know, I'm like, they're trying to brand me with their initials, and for all you Nexium heads out there, you get that reference. But yeah, vibe space. The thing, yeah, vibe space. It's just this is such like a complete like different universe. It is also that big exhale. It's just like the weeks, the unbound block, however long your unbound, however long or short your unbound block was. It's like if it was truly a block, it was focused and it was dialed, and it took some sacrifice out of your life. And so you had the block, then you get there, you have whatever the traveling was always a pain in the ass, like for the privateers flying in, for the people, the long drives, and then you have all the activating that you're doing and all the meeting people and like trying to make people laugh because like you're supposed to be funny, but also you do kind of just like want a selfie with Sarah Sturm because she's cool. And then like then it's like, oh no, I should stop activating so hard because I'm really tired and I have to race in like 24 hours or something. And yeah, I don't it's like it's almost it's its own like world, and then you go back home and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do the group ride. I'm gonna go out for a beer with my friends, and then all the Pas Normal, all the people who would actually be somewhat impressed that I went to the Pas Normal house are like doing their group ride right now. And it's like, I'm home watching the Velo Worthy video that just got uploaded.
Yeah, I mean, a great video. I love Veloworthy uploaded like a YouTube short of Cam Jones crossing the finish line winning. And it seems like Lifetime set up like a media pen, like they put a neon yellow line on the ground. So everyone with a camera is trying to run to swarm Cam Jones, who's with his family. And
Yeah.
there's like a bouncer guy and he's like, stay behind the line. Like this is as far as you can go.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
then one guy is like, we have a deal with Michelle for the first interview. Let us through. We have a deal with Michelle. And then Veloworthy gets through the barrier.
Yeah, dude, handshake deals for interviews, however that worked out. Then they get the first interview. Yeah, dude, Veloworthy, I always look forward to Veloworthy videos. Although there was a big lack for me of the come on, Finsty, come on, Sarah, you got this, Rosa, you got this. Come on, Matt, he's right there, Matt. He's like, I did kind of miss that.
Yeah, the
Classic.
Veloworthy video was like, I think it's an hour long. I haven't finished it, but um, I need to watch it. But
You
it's
thought it
definitely
was the
like,
Lifetime video at
yeah,
first,
yeah,
I
like
think you.
the way it's titled, it's like Lifetime, or like Unbound 200, Lifetime Grand Prix, fastest Unbound ever, and you're just like, what? Like, is this the video? Damn.
Yeah, yeah, man.
No, like the
Dude.
one of the things it captured well is how fast like the huge groups were going through the towns, and it was just like
Yeah.
very, very insane to see that. Like, oh yeah, this is a gravel race. That's like, this feels crazy and not safe or something. Who knows? I don't know. It was just crazy. I can't wait to ride power lines. People working too hard. It's like, if you're the velo worthy guy, how do you shoot? Like, the video's an hour long, which means you probably shot like 19 to 36 hours to edit, and then you have it uploaded within like 4 days. Somehow select all this inspirational music, and you're like, wow, this could legitimately be on like ESPN2. Like,
Yeah, this is like better than like the inspirational little bits they show between Sports Center when it's like a blind golfer or like a one-legged bowler. It's like as good or better than those. Like we love Veloworthy, big fans.
yeah, it's just, it's all just gravel's headed the direction where if you're a pro and you think the course is crowded now, it's like in 2 years it's going to be really dangerous. And but also you're going to be on ESPN2 at midnight, right after like a Western Conference basketball game.
Yeah, and Nike will start making bibs.
It's going to be like similar to the model of the And One mixtape tour. They're going to really kind of brand it to like,
Like
alternative,
three
like,
like 3-on-3 basketball. Like
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it could do similar to the big three, but it's going to be for Zoomers though in Gen Alpha, and it's going to have a bunch of Zin products, and Pa Normal is going to be like the supreme of like 2027 or something.
I could see it. I could see it.
I can't wait to ride power lines.